What's up, everybody? It's the guy that fingers your butthole. I came in here to talk about something I feel really like, I don't know, it's always bothered me, fandoms in general. I never really wanted to get myself into any fandoms. I didn't care what kind of fandom it was. Even if it was a fandom I really, for a show that I really enjoy, or for a game I really liked. Attack on Titan, one of my favorite top animes out there, you know, it's fucking amazing. I fucking love Attack on Titan. I'll make a video talking about what I think makes Attack on Titan amazing one day. We'll see. For now, let's stick to fandoms. I remember seeing this comment in a Attack on Titan video, and this is what got me to talk about it anyways. The comment went something like where some dude was saying that they don't really understand the story too well. There's still stuff that they couldn't gather themselves because they themselves just couldn't understand the story. Which, fair, nothing wrong with that. Like, I will say Attack on Titan is not really like a simple plot line. It's a complicated plot line. Not everyone's gonna understand it. But in no way am I saying that you should have a high IQ to understand the story. I'm not like a Rick and Morty fan where I'm just like, oh, Pickle Rick, you can't understand this joke unless if you have an insanely high IQ, you graduated from Harvard, and your butthole also is as smart as you are. No. That shit is so stupid, and I hate that crap. Stupid mindset to have. But point is, a guy replied to this guy saying, what did he say? He told him that he was stupid and dumb and an idiot, and you know he's just stupid. You're a dumbass, and you need to get your brain checked. You might have holes inside your brain. You can't understand this story. Pathetic. I've watched the story. I've watched Attack on Titan 30 million times, and I understand the story perfectly well. It's stupid. It's so dumb. Obviously, he didn't use those exact words, but it's pretty close to just what he was saying. I was over-exaggerating a little bit, but not by much. He was just calling the guy an idiot for not understanding the story, and that he should switch to a different anime or something like that. Why, though? I don't understand the point of that. He just didn't understand the story. Why not just explain it to him, or just point him towards a video that explains the story for him, or just, like, point him towards a website that can also explain the story for you. Like, there's an actual website that tells you the Attack on Titan timeline, which I've read before, because I was actually interested in it. And, I've watched Attack on Titan multiple times. I rewatched that show so many fucking times back in middle school. That's all I fucking watched. I swear to God. I was like in a constant looping state. You know Oxenfree? In Oxenfree, where when the radio plays, you kind of just keep looping in the exact same scene constantly. It's like Groundhog Day, kind of. That's exactly what I was doing. It's like Happy Death Day. Every single time I finished watching Attack on Titan, I just had to watch another one. It's like sniffing cocaine. I just had to get another. I had to get another sniffing. So yeah, I just constantly watched Attack on Titan over and over again. So of course I was gonna understand the story at some point. Like, if you watch something a million times, you're obviously gonna understand it a lot more every single time. If you don't, you might just be an idiot. That's all I could really say. Anyways, this guy probably watched Attack on Titan once, so he probably wouldn't understand the story right off the bat. But you know, he was able to pick up some things. Obviously, he just didn't pick up on everything. That's it. So why call him an idiot for that? Just explain the story to him, or just, like I said earlier, point him to a video or a website that, you know, explains the story. Why call him an idiot and turn him away from the Attack on Titan fandom? Why do that? Right? That's why I never really liked fandoms. Any fandoms. Reylo fans? Star Wars? Oh my god. The Star Wars new trilogy with how people shipped Reylo, or what are the names? I've never watched the Star Wars trilogy. In fact, I've never watched any Star Wars movie. I know that might be a sin to say, oh, hang me or something, poke me with a farmer's Triton. What the fuck was it called? Jesus, Pitchfork. I called it Farmer's Triton. Yep, that's the new name, Farmer's Triton now. So, I never watched Star Wars ever, so I don't really know the characters really well. I just know, I think it was Rey and Reylo? I think it was something like that. Whatever. I hope I'm not triggering anyone. Point is, these two characters were being shipped, and one of the, I don't know if this it is spoilers, I guess. One of the character ended up dying, and the fandom, the shipping community did not take that really well at all. They hated the shit out of it. In fact, they hated it so much, they actually started sending death threats towards the writers. What's his name? J.J.R. Martin? That's probably one of the, it's either Game of Thrones or... Okay, this is going off topic right now. I'm gonna get back to the story right now. So, started sending death threats to the person that wrote the story, and then they started sending death threats towards the people that just acted out as the characters. They started sending death threats to the kids. Actually, I don't know about the death threats to the kids thing, but they did start targeting the kids after learning that these actors have kids, which is just crazy to me. That's absurd. And the fact that these people think that they are in the right, because I guess they just talk to each other all day long. They live in this stupid echo chamber where they're just constantly listening to their own echoes and their own farts, and constantly just sniffing it in and then breathing it out, and just like constantly intaking the same exact shit over and over again. It's so dumb. It's like a sensory deprivation tank, except the only senses you're receiving is just, I have to be a super fan, I'm toxic. It's so dumb. I never understood stuff like that. Just like sending death threats to people because they wrote a story that you didn't agree with. That is the dumbest shit ever, and it's just toxic. It's stupid. Why do people do that? I get being a fan of something, you know, being passionate about something. There's nothing wrong with being passionate about something. I never had a problem with that. But to the point where, you know, you're actually starting to send death threats to the people that wrote the story, or quitting your job just so you can cry for the entire day because you didn't like how the story went, that is so stupid, and I will never understand that. I will never understand anyone that does something like that. And Charlie's video sums it up pretty well. It's, Raylo fans are insane, something like that. That it might not be the exact title, but it's something like that. It's a really good video, and he pretty much talks about this topic a lot better than I do, than I am right now currently, of like toxic fandoms and shit like that. Although he only focuses on Raylo fans, but I want to say this about every fandom. Every fandom has a wholesome group in it, and there are also the shitty parts of the fandoms. You have to understand, not every fandom, in fact, every fandom is not even like a wholesome fandom or a toxic fandom. There's always going to be toxic people in the fandom and wholesome people in the fandom. Every single fandom. If you can name one fandom where it doesn't have toxic and wholesome people in it, you found gold. Like, it's like you were digging in Minecraft and you just found diamonds. Like, there's no way you will be able to find that because it's impossible. Every damn fandom has those kinds of people because they're people. Of course, and people can be either good or bad, just like how people can be either wholesome or non-wholesome, or, you know, anything else. It doesn't just have to be those two things, but you get the point. The point is there's multiple people in that fandom, so there's going to be a lot of emotions going around, obviously. Not everyone's going to be this way. Even with, like, fandoms like Animal Crossing, there's still going to be toxic people in there because that's just how it is. Every single fandom will have some toxic people in it, and it's annoying. They're obviously not representative of the entire fandom, but it's super annoying to have that because it turns you away from the thing that they're, you know, a fan of, which is sad and shit. You know, most of the times when you try to get into something, you look to the fandom, and when the fandom treats you like shit, you obviously don't want to get into that thing that you're trying to get into. Like, I've had that happen multiple times where I try to watch something, but like, Jesus, seeing the fandom talk about it, it's like, wow, these guys are so fucking toxic. I don't ever want to watch this thing that, you know, they proudly proclaim is their life, which is stupid. Like, again, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of something, but to make it your entire life and your entire personality is so shit to do. It's so stupid. It's pathetic. It's sad. But, you know, whatever. Although I almost did that in middle school. Attack on Titan almost became my life, which is crazy. I probably would have went out there biting my thumb, you know, thinking I could turn into a Titan or some shit. Like, and then all of a sudden, lightning strikes down my house like I was a zombie or villager from Minecraft, and I was turning into a zombie villager. Like, I was close to becoming one of those people, but I'm glad something changed where I didn't. Thank fuck. I never want to be those kinds of people ever. And yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about with fandoms, because they're just awful. Most fandoms are awful, and a lot of fandoms are just toxic. It's so hard to find wholesome fandoms. Purely wholesome is what I mean, because you can find wholesome people in the fandom, but you cannot find purely wholesome fandoms where the entire fandom is just collectively agreeing like a hive mind of, you know, this thing is great, this thing is amazing. You know, they're not actually toxic or anything like that. No, you'll always find toxic people in any fandom, and this doesn't just restrict itself to just fandoms. Groups like Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ, this is something that needs to be talked about. I feel like needs to be talked about, because there's always bad actors in any group. It doesn't matter what group it is. There's just going to be a bad actor in there. Multiple bad actors. It won't just be one, obviously. There's going to be people that follow them, or people that have their own thought process that don't agree with it. That can be saved for a different video. I just want to talk about fandoms in general, and groups like Black Lives Matter and shit. That can be covered another day. It's another topic for another day. And, you know, it gets my nipples hard when I think about it. So, alright, this is me signing off. Alright, peace out, everybody.